So please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
More like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and bring
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
like this guy.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now that you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
but you're more in the category like Wilfred Arnold. Okay?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic.
That's great, partner. You two ever go out place everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go. We head to Kroger's, and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God! And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog.
How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes
can
first.
you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
how
I
do you do it?
mean,
Teach
the
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you know you gotta get the smile. Smile going on some shoes, but you know.
Wait, hold up.
You got.
I gotta
when
try
it's
this
time,
with
when,
you.
it, when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try this
you gotta
with
think
you.
of something funny
All right,
and start laughing.
do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope you guys are all doing well and enjoying your Wednesday. It is Hump Day. Hump Day, y'all. Hump Day, and it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. There's many, many reasons to get excited about this this week. Excited about this day. Something more and more reasons to be hype about this day. You know, we're halfway through the week. The work week, I mean. Weekend is coming right around the corner. You know. It's good things. Good things to be excited and hype about, okay? Very, very excited about today. You know, we got a lot of things to talk about. There's a lot of things that are going on overseas right now with our president, right? With our 46 and Putin, which we're going to be talking about here very shortly. And you know, we got a lot of stuff. There's an athlete. There's an Olympic athlete that's trying to claim that she received steroids from a burrito. Yeah. And then we got some stuff about Billie Eillish. I feel like Billie Eillish, people are always trying to cancel Billie Eilish, but we're gonna be talking about that here in a little bit as well. All right, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Good morning to everybody. Be sure to hit that like button. Send those likes all the way up. And if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button. Go over to my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Please go and crush that subscribe button over there as well. I'm putting clips and stuff like that over on that channel as well too. So please go crush that subscribe button over there, okay? That would really, really mean a lot. But before we jump into all this stuff, oh, and don't forget, hit that join button, okay? $4.99 a month. Helps fuel this show so we can keep giving you your controversies, your pop culture, and your discussions of the day. So please hit that join button. That would be greatly appreciated as well. You know what I mean? We that little train that could. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to keep going. All right. So hit that join button. That would really mean a lot. But anyway, before we jump into the news and the discussions of the day, my boy Dave is in the house. What's good, my brother?
Man, everything's good right now. It's just spent most of yesterday. Well, not most of yesterday, but after our conversation, I watched like half of the Justice League movie again, the Snyder Cut. It's a very long movie, but I still like it quite a bit. We also have apparently. This is weather, so I'm sure you won't care, but Denver is having the hottest day it's ever had right now, and it's spreading out here too, getting 110 today, I think, again.
Oh, man.
But it is the highest it has ever been in Denver right now, which is they've been setting a new record every year. So, I mean, that's kind of pointing towards a consistent warming of the area.
That's what's up. Yeah, it's going to be a hot one, like they've been saying. It's going to be hot. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be too hot. So be careful this weekend. Allegedly it's going to be a scorching one. So definitely, hydrate. Don't do anything too crazy. Wear hats, stay in the shade. If you got a friend that's got a pool, or if you got an enemy that has a pool, it may be a good time to circle back now and be friends with them now, so that you can utilize that pool when it gets when it gets a little too hot out here. Go ahead.
It's always a good idea to have a friend you can go to if your AC goes up, because that has been happening in Denver, and especially with people with pets and stuff. Some of those pets can't survive that temperatures, and since it's going to keep getting hotter, it's going to be stressing out the ACs a lot more. So it's always a good idea to have an idea of somewhere to go if you need to keep you or your children or pets cooler than how hot it is outside. Because it's very dangerous. He can kill you pretty quickly. And, a lot of places in Denver, they've been losing their power because of the AC units, which we saw in Texas, too. So stay ready and make sure you know somewhere to go if it gets too hot, or you have enough gas to run your AC in your car if you need to.
Precisely.
Don't just sit there, drive around while you do it.
Precisely what he said. You know what I mean? Do something. Try to stay as cool as possible. But by the way, it's not even the weekend yet. It's still hump day. So let's get into some of the news topics of the day, because, we could talk about this when when the time is right? Letting people know, hey, just, hydrate, be safe this weekend. We'll be circling back in that conversation here very, very soon. But anyway, we got to jump into some of the news that's going on today. And one of the main things is that, it's kind of like the moment we all have been waiting for, politically speaking. We've been waiting for Biden to sit across from Putin and maybe get some answers about a lot of different things, a laundry list of things that we've been dealing with over here, this whole ransomware stuff, etc. But David's got more of the story to that. What's going on, bruh?
All right. So with Putin and Biden, they just recently had the kind of preliminary meeting. They met very briefly at a Swiss mansion or Swiss villa. It's a 300-year-old place that's set up near Geneva's Parc de la Grange. And so they met there very briefly earlier. And most of the meeting is going to be coming out a little bit later. This was just kind of a preliminary thing. According to ABC, who had an agent or a reporter there, the first meeting between Biden, Putin, and the U.S. Secretary Antony Blinken with the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov concluded after 2 hours. What they did in this meeting is they are moving into they're basically planning the rest of the meetings. They're planning a more bilateral agreements so that they can work together in the future. So this is basically what they had, was a planning meeting, so they make sure they all go over the topics they want to discuss during this time. And Blinken, who ended up going across the world not too long ago, especially with the Middle East issues, is one of the ones leading this for the U.S. here. And we also, like I said, Lavrov is coming from the Russian government, and it's very frequent that he is involved in these sorts of things. He's kind of their agent, basically, the same way Blinken is our foreign agent. That's what Lavrov is for them. So they expect to have this meeting soon. They've decided to talk about, at the very least, the global economy and the environment. It's not clear what else they are going to talk about. People have been wanting Biden to push in on some of the assassinations that Putin kind of admitted to. However, it's probably not going to happen. I think the most tense issue we might see come up is the Ukraine. Just about 2 months ago, Russia pulled its forces from the border of the Ukraine after the U.S. told them to. And Ukraine has been warning that even with this meeting, it could be a prelude to war if Russia pushes into the Ukraine. But this is from the Ukraine's perspective. So of course they want the U.S. support much more than anyone else. But it is one of those issues that will probably come up. And so far, I think it's possible there will be a resolution to that, because Putin did pull his forces back from the Ukraine, which is one of the tensest moments we've had with Russia probably in the past half decade or so.
Yes. There's as we know, there's a lot that's going on. There's going to be a lot that's going on in this conversation that they're going to be having here very, very soon. In fact, I wanted to show you guys a little clip. They met, from my understanding, they met yesterday. at some point, and just the look on their faces is just palpable. I mean, you could just see that, they got some things they got to talk about. Real talk. They got some things they have got to talk about.
Relations have a lot of issues accumulated that require the highest level meeting. And I hope that our meeting will be productive.
Well, thank you. As I said outside, I think it's always better to meet face to face.
I mean, just awkward, don't you think? I mean, just look at it. It's awkward as hell. Just to me, it seems like obviously, there's a lot of tension, right? There's a whole bunch of tension, right? And we can obviously see that Putin ain't a fan of Biden. I mean, that's just me. He was expecting a man with a fake tan and in a super comb over sitting across from him at this point right now. And it's not happening. So I feel like he's a little butthurt about this whole situation as well. But yeah, they're sitting across from each other, and you can see it's just awkward. It's just awkward. It's a weird thing. And obviously they have just started to finally get a conversation going, or they're about to meet today, or they're meeting right now, I think, right? Aren't they meeting right now, David? They're meeting right now. They're walking into rooms, into the building right now as we speak, correct? You're mute, Brad.
Yeah, they're meeting. They should be meeting right now or within the next 40 minutes or so. I know Biden's in there right now. I think they're still waiting for Putin to get there. He's not late, though. I don't remember the exact time they had planned. But right before the show, they were still waiting for him, and Biden had just showed up.
Right on. See? So obviously, we're going to see what happens when they actually sit down and actually have a conversation. There's a lot to talk about, the hacking that's been going on, etc. I mean, of course, Jasmine just said it's all about money and oil. Yes, it is.
There have been. That's where a lot of the expectations of this not going well is coming from, because Biden has he's continued a lot of basically the Trump's plans against Russia. So there has been a distribution of arms to areas around there, and also Biden has continued on with Trump's basic complaint that Germany is now accepting oil from Russia, and both Trump and Biden also push to have Sputnik 5, which is their answer to the problem, the Russian answer to this current problem. And pretty much Biden has kept that out of spreading to the West as much as he can, especially in America. I mean, it's not even going to be looked at in America. So there is a lot of tension that's coming up between just Biden and Putin, and that's disregarding all the other tensions they have with the U.S. in general throughout the past, of course.
Yeah. I mean, I also remember a while back, I think I did a pop-up about this. Maybe I didn't, but I read this about Putin wanting to get into a debate with Biden, actually have a debate, like they're having a presidential debate type thing, just to do it. I don't know why. So obviously there is tension between both leaders. Like I said, we're going to see what happens when they finally have to sit down and chop it up, for sure.
Yeah, if I remember right, that was Biden called that incident was Biden called Putin a killer, and then in response,
Yes.
Putin said that he would happily have a debate over the issue with Biden at any time. And Biden's, I think Psaki's their name, said that Biden's open to that, but there won't be any plans for that in the future, basically.
Yeah.
So even though they say he's open, I guess he's really not, because it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. But that is what his press secretary was saying.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to see. We'll see what happens when it gets down to the wire, when it gets down to the actual meeting and the conversation that they're going to have, and what is said in said meeting. I think that's something that we need to wait for, right? And see if they leave in a amicable kind of way, or if they leave in a very volatile way. We're just going to have to sit back and see what happens here for sure. Anyway, we got to move on to the next story. The next story is this, and this is weird. This one's new. This one's for the books, y'all. Okay? This one's for the books. I know all the time. I'm like, whenever I'm trying to, segue into a story, I'll sit there and go, oh, this is weird and this is interesting or this is strange. This one's a new one for me. Here we go. An Olympic hopeful says her burrito is to blame for her positive drug test. I don't know how you can get steroids from a burrito, but we gonna find out here. Shelby, a middle distance runner who currently holds 2 U.S. records, says she has been banned from the Tokyo Olympics for testing positive for steroid nandrolone. All right. Houlihan says she's clean and is blaming the test result on a pork burrito that she got from a food truck. Okay. Now, anti-doping officials don't agree with the runner. They handed Houlihan a 4-year ban just before U.S. Olympic trials for the track and field team will begin in Oregon this weekend. So they're saying what experts are making of this pork steroid link. Houlihan was given a provisional suspension in January when the Athletics Integrity Unit informed her that her test sample from December 15th, 2020 had come back positive for nandrolone. Okay? Since then, she said she's tried to establish her innocence in a variety of ways, including a food log she compiled after learning of this test result. The AIU was created in 2017 to independently oversee anti-doping efforts in international track and field athletics. All right. After reviewing what she ate, Houlihan said we concluded that the most likely explanation was a burrito purchased and consumed approximately 10 hours before that drug test from from an authentic Mexican food truck that serves pig offal near my house in Beaverton, Oregon.
And
a burrito.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got more. So Houlihan is now pointing to studies that show nandrolone occurs naturally in some pigs. All right. Now, experts who spoke with NPR, which is the article that I'm reading right now, say a link is possible, but it's not so clear cut. So a PhD, who of course is a professor at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, says the steroid would be unlikely to be found in pork. Nandrolone is not approved for use in any food animal. This doctor was noting that it's illegal to use any steroid hormones in pig production. We use them in cattle and sheep, and that's it. All right? So the only way it would be there is if it occurred naturally, and I don't know if that is the case. So what is crazy to me is that she says that the testing process was flawed. Okay? Houlihan and the coaches at her track club in Oregon say they'd never heard of nandrolone before learning of a positive out-of-competition test result in January. They say Houlihan is being punished due to a flawed testing process. I want to be very clear. I have never taken any performance-enhancing substances, and that includes that of which I have been accused of, she said. Houlihan said she had passed a polygraph test, and a hair sample analysis was done with that as well. She says they found no buildup of steroids in her body. She did not respond to a request for comment on Tuesday. So this whole thing is being blamed right now on a burrito, on a pork burrito that she got from a food truck. To me, it just seems a little far-fetched. You're going to get steroids Now here it is. Also, I want to pull something back up that I said a little bit ago. Okay. They said something along the lines of, I'm trying to find exactly what I said. They did a food log, right? After the fact. They did a food log after she tested positive to find out that it was a burrito. So how are you going to know if you weren't doing the food log beforehand? You see what I'm saying? If you weren't doing food logs for the whole time you're training, you're going, okay, I ate a burrito, I ate, some chicken with some such and such. I did this, that, and the third. I had a salad. I did this. I did that. How can you sit there and say that it's suddenly from a food truck, a burrito, a pork burrito from a food truck? That's the thing that doesn't make any sense to me right here, right? That suddenly the food log is added in afterwards, after she's caught doping. You see what I'm saying? So, I know David's got some more. What's good, man?
All right. So I was looking at the National Library of Medicine, which is kind of our database for health things, and they did have a study on this. I think it's referenced by the article you were just reading, but the study itself was in 2000, and it does basically the conclusion is that let me bring this right back up so I say it right. Well, overall, what they say is that nandrolone is a synthetic anabolic steroid analog of testosterone. And they state that it can be a testosterone replacement therapy to increase nitrogen retention for some people. And it is commonly illegally used by bodybuilders. It is the most popular androgenic anabolic steroid to increase muscle mass as far as bodybuilders go. And it is generally one of the most popular illegally used form of steroids. However, the NLM, the same article study, also points out that consumption of pork can cause a short-term high level of nandrolone. They conducted a study using the urine of 3 male volunteers who consumed 310 grams of pork, which was the meat, liver, heart, and kidney. According to the study, the 3 individuals delivered urine samples before and during the 24 hours after the meal intake, and nearly 10 hours after they ate the pork, they did show high levels of nandrolone in their blood system.
How many grams? 300 and how much? 300 and what grams?
310 grams of pork, and they found that after eating that, concentrations in the urine were 3.1 to 7.5 micrograms per liter. Within 10 hours after eating the boar tissue.
Now, if that's the case, then real quick, if that's the case, if somebody's going to go and say, okay, I'm going to pee in a cup, you're going to do your thing, and after eating this 300 some odd grams of pork, right? Why would they not see that and say, hey, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't her team or her people use that as exhibit A or something like that for the rebuttal? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, these guys did eat almost a pound of pork. 310 grams is around 0.7 or 0.8 pounds, I think. So it's almost a pound of pork. So that does kind of question it because if she was just eating one burrito from there, I don't think there would be enough meat for this high levels of nandrolone. Mm-hmm. But theoretically, it is possible. I do kind of suspect that she was probably using it because it is one of the most common anabolic steroids for performance increasing. But if this is the only time she's tested positive for it and she doesn't test positive for it later in the day or the next day, she's probably not taking it regularly. So they should test her again probably within a day or two, tell her not to eat pork, and then see what it does to her blood system her blood levels.
But here's the thing. This test was done in January, if I'm correct, because I don't have the article. Obviously, you guys are on the screen now. So in the article, the testing happened in January. So it's already too little too late, pretty much. I mean, yes, of course, she could probably, rebuttal, throw that in and sit there and say, hey, this is all wrong, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, it's already too late because everybody and their mama already knows about this particular thing and it's been there, done that. And also, she can literally go clean She could literally go clean. That gives her enough time to get it. This is more than enough time to get this flushed out of her system. I mean, it's June, for crying out loud. You know what I'm saying? A few more days until my birthday. Shameless plug. But anyway, so when it comes to this, it's like, all right, you're going to sit here and say it's a burrito. Come on. Unless it was like that 300 and some odd grams of pork, right? Each individual was consuming, each one was consuming 300 and some odd grams of pork, or were they eating that collectively?
No, it was each. And I did the math real quick. It's 0.75 pounds, so 3/4 of a pound is how much pork they were eating, which is a high level.
It's a lot of pork.
Most people only eat about 1/4 pound to a 1/2 pound of meat per day. Unless you are a bodybuilder or something like that, then you will probably break 1 pound of meat a day. So, I mean, based on that, if she only had one pork burrito, based on how much pork they put in those burritos, I don't think it would be enough to trigger the nandrolone testing, based on what the NLM has said about previous testing on the chemical within pork flesh and meat.
See, now I'm getting hungry. Now I'm just getting hungry. What up, T? How you doing, my brother?
Good morning, Pascal. Good morning, David.
Morning,
Good morning, fam.
How's it going?
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to say something. You got to speak. Did you hear any of this
all
story?
good.
Did you hear any of this story at all?
Yeah. It was.
What's your thoughts?
She was in the Mexican cartel, getting drugs. Was that what happened?
Yeah, sure. Why not? We'll go with it.
Hey, I mean, it's a burrito, so I'm assuming that But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it seems fishy, or porky, if you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
She definitely has to come up with a better story than this. It's just and just admit to your guilt and move on with it. This is going to drag it out way too long over an unknown substance. So.
But you also got to remember, this is somebody who is hardcore about, because you got to remember, this is the kind of same thing that happened with, that went down with Lance Armstrong. You know, they're going to deny until somebody comes out with the truth. And you can go and win a whole bunch of Tour de France's all day long. You know, win 9 in a row. I don't remember how many he did. It was something crazy. But, win 9 in a row or something like that. Until somebody finally walks up and steps up and says, no, F this, I'm done. Like what he or she is doing is wrong. They are straight up using PEDs, So when it comes to something like this, it's kind of like, yo, guys, come on. For a fact, you are stretching it a little bit, Maybe, come on. Maybe you needed that extra oomph. Maybe you wanted to, squat a little bit heavier, or you wanted to, shave off a millisecond on your time on a couple laps. But, come on. Let's be real. You got popped. You had PEDs in your system. You're really going to say it's from a burrito? Like, here it is. That would have to be one thick-ass burrito. Like a burrito. And it would have to be nothing but pork. And like a little shaving of lettuce. Literally. Like, come on. To me, it's far-fetched. To me, it's a little far-fetched.
I mean, I would think that every athlete who is seriously competitive will have a manager or some kind of dietitian, nutrition who checks for all their supplements for them and their food. So I don't understand why this keeps happening. Even it's purposeful and you're trying to mask it and it doesn't work out, or just, I don't know, maybe once in a while something is tainted. But there's someone's job that you should be hiring. This is your profession, and everything that you intake is going to even have you qualify or disqualify for an event. Make sure that person you hire is doing their job. Or not, this is what happens every couple of years. These big stories come out about PDEs and steroids and so forth.
Yeah. And to me, that just seems so strange to go from doing, like I said, it just seems so strange to me to go from you're running, you're doing your thing just fine, then suddenly you test positive for a PED, and then all of a sudden you say, "Oh no, it's not that. It's a burrito." And that's like I said, it is a stretch. What did they do? Did they go back to every single place that she ate and tested every single thing that she ate? Like individually, not just on her. I'm not saying in her body. Like, and then also, how would they know? How would they know? Ooh, pork gives off nandrolone. You know, it gives off the steroid nandrolone. I can't talk today, my Lord. But you know what I'm saying? Like, how would it make you suddenly go, oh, it's the pork? She had a burrito at a food truck. Blame it on the food truck. You know what I mean? Huh?
Yeah, it's I was gonna say that in a lot of places, especially America, for instance, pork sandwiches like bacon and sausage is all pork. Most Americans eat pork all the time in the morning, and this seems to be the first case that's popped up as this issue. And I mean, other countries do too. I think Germans, someone said, eats raw pork sandwiches frequently for breakfast. So I mean, a lot of places you do consume large amounts of pork in the morning, and but this seems to be the first time that anyone's triggered the nandrolone chemical, at least within the past 10 years that I looked through. So that would suggest to me that I think she was taking it, especially since food pigs, like the ones we eat for food, they aren't necessarily the best source of nandrolone. The highest source comes from boars, like natural boars, which we don't really eat in America. And so all that together, it doesn't strike me as likely that she would have enough nandrolone in her system to test positive when no one else has done so recently, because that pork burrito is unlikely to have more meat or more pork in it than, say, your average American breakfast maybe. But I don't know for sure, I guess.
It's strange to me. It's very, very strange to me. You know, I don't believe it. Like I said, I don't believe it. I think it's a shot in the dark. And, you know, there's videos of her, you know, giving her testimony and talking about everything. Of course, she's talking to the board, and and she's crying, you know, understandably. This is her livelihood. This is what she's been building and working for all of her life. She wants to go home with the gold. There's, you know, there's that pressure of being the best of the best, right? The best in the world. And but there's a lot of people that will cut corners, that are willing to cut corners so that they can be the best. And this is clearly, to me, a situation like that. There's just no way you could tell me that. There's just no way you can tell me this is from a burrito. I'm sorry. Like I said, she would have to be super hungry that day, eat a whole bunch of stuff. Right? Eat a whole bunch of burritos all day, let's just say, right? For her to have that in her system like that. That's a lot of pork to consume. A lot. Right? So, I don't know. I don't know if I'm believing it so much, personally. I'm just no. And they're really hardcore nowadays. You know, when it comes to testing and everything. So, you know, shoot, I just saw, it's so funny because I just saw the a biopic about Lance Armstrong. It's called The Program, where it just shows how he got away with everything, what he did, how he got away with it. You know, he wanted to be the best of the best and all that, especially after battling cancer and surviving cancer and everything. He was just like, yo, I want to be the best. So he just consumed a crap ton of PEDs, and his team did too. So next thing you know, you got a bunch of dudes just roided out, just, you know, killing every single Tour de France. And, you know, he denied it every day for years. And then finally somebody walked out and said, nah, they're lying. He's lying. You know what I mean? And then he finally had to confess. But he had already had the Live Strong and he had all this stuff, multi-billion-dollar industries that he was creating and all that. You know? They're hardcore now because they don't want that kind of stuff to happen anymore. So I wish the girl the best, but at the same time, you know, there's always 4 more. She got 4 years, and she can always compete 4 years from now. That's what they said. She's banned for 4 years, and that's it. So we will definitely see what happens as time goes on. But I think she fibbing. I think she's straight fibbing. That's just me, though. That is just me. But we got to go into this next story. I'm trying to decide which one to go to. I'm like, do we go to Billie Eillish, and do we go into this other one? I think we're going to do this other one. Real quick, because it is pretty kind of gross. Y'all. Kind of gross. Okay. All right, y'all.
This is my daughter. I'm Rakia.
This is okay. This is getting too hype. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you're about to see something that's a little bit of a left turn. I just want to say that really quick. We're going to be looking at a video. It's very quick. It's very short. It's less than a minute long. But there's some very disturbing things that are going on in this particular video. And we're going to break it down. We're going to take a look at this. There are 2 women who are a mother and daughter duo, okay, that are clearly very, very close with each other. They're very close. They got a strong bond, okay? But they got a strong bond that is so strong and so tight I can't really say much. I don't know what to, because I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to ruin it for you. Ruin it for you. Just take a look.
This is my daughter. I'm Rakia. I'm 26 years old, and we live in Jacksonville, Alabama. We do everything together. Yeah. I mean, everything.
Now, nothing wrong with a mother-daughter doing a lot of things together, right? Ain't nothing wrong with a mother-daughter bond where, you know, they go shopping together, they're talking to each other, they're hanging out, blah, blah, blah. Nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? It's healthy to a certain extent, right? Okay.
Watch a movie together, cook together, twerk.
Say what? Meh? Okay. They twerk together now. I'm going to put myself on the big screen. They twerk together now. Okay. Mother and daughter. This is just the beginning. It gets weird. It gets even weirder. Okay? It gets even weirder. Okay.
Go crazy. Show up. I couldn't imagine my life without my mom being in it. It would ruin me.
That's sweet.
I wouldn't know what to do, how to function. I've had people say that we're too close. Okay, you got.
Okay, did you see that? I'm sorry, I got to rewind that one more time. Hold up. She is feeding her daughter. Don't you think that's a little weird? I mean, isn't that a little weird?
What's going on with this? This is like
T's like, what's going on with this? What in tarnation? Yes.
Yes. Oh my god.
This is some weird ass stuff. Okay. Now I'm trying to understand it. Okay. I'm trying to compute this situation because on some real stuff, I was thinking about this too. What if this situation was flipped? Like, what if this was, say, take out the mother and put the dad there? Real talk. Take the mother out and put the dad there for a second. Would that be kosher? Would that be all right? I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is not all right. And by the way, this is just the tip of the iceberg, my babies. This is just the tip of the iceberg. But at the same time, this is not right. To me, this is wrong. Flip it around. Hey, say it's a father-son situation. Father's feeding the son food like this. Is that normal? But that's weird. See, because men don't do that, right? Men don't do that ish, because that's weird. And actually, there would be people protesting outside that person's home, saying that he's a P word, etc. I mean, they would burn that person's house down if they saw an episode like that. But the fact that this is being on TV right now shows that this is socially acceptable. But wait a second, there's more.
Okay, you got to spread it open a little bit.
Did you see what I'm saying? That was really loud, by the way. Let me turn that down a little bit. But I don't know why that beat was hella loud.
What was that part?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm rewinding it because it happens so damn fast. This is all done in 1 minute. You know what I'm saying? Less than 59 seconds. Okay? But real talk, I need to turn it down just a little bit. But do you let's consume this moment for a second. This is what she's doing. She's waxing her mother's flower. Okay? Waxing her flower. Hold up. Let me rewind it just a tiny bit. Like I said, everything happens so damn quick in here. It's, yeah, you got to consider, like, what did my eyes deceive me? Or did I just see, yes, you saw this. The mother, the daughter is doing her mother's flower. It's waxing it. Okay.
Okay, you got to spread it open a little bit.
Okay, so the girl is flipped over.
Waxing each other for quite some time now.
Hold on.
I've been waxing each other.
Hold
I've
on.
been waxing each other for quite some time now. I've been waxing each other for quite some time now. My mother and I have been.
How is that normal? She goes up, just cramp, like this. You know what I'm saying? Cramp, and goes, and she's laughing at it, staring at her mother's vajayjay hair follicles. Oh my God. We got more. Like I said, it gets weirder and weirder, but they perform this on each other, apparently. This is okay. Is this okay? Ladies, please. Ladies, is this okay? Real talk, ladies. I'm speaking straight to the ladies right now. Is this a healthy relationship? Is this the example of a healthy relationship? We got more. Like I said, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Down the rabbit hole we go.
Waxing each other for quite some time now.
I showed her my first sex tape about 2 years ago.
I showed her my first sex tape maybe a year ago. What kind of positions do you think I should do, or what do you think we should do? And she was just like, oh, girl, prop your leg up in this angle. Maybe your back should have been a little bit more arched in this position.
You have your significant others.
Yes, and he was like, you guys are sick.
Okay. I'm going to roll that back a little bit. I just wanted to let that go and roll for a little bit. I'm going to play that one more time for all y'all in the nosebleed seats, just in case you didn't hear correctly. All right? Yeah. We're going to go back a little bit. One more time.
For quite some time now.
I showed her my first sex tape about 2 years ago.
I showed her my first sex tape maybe a year ago.
Okay, so mother instigated this. Mama instigated it first. Mama said, hey, honey, let's go back 2 years ago. Okay? And she said, hey, honey, I got a sex tape. Check it out. She watched it. The daughter watched it. The daughter watched that ish. Then the daughter was so inspired. A flame had ignited inside of her. And she said, Mom, you inspired me so much. I need to do the same dang thing. So I did it. Here's my video a year later. The mother instigated this whole thing. The mother started this whole thing. Do you consider this healthy? Like I said, if a father and son situation was sitting there going, hey, Dad, the dad comes up, he's like, hey, son, I just wanted to show you my sex tape, show off my stroke game. Is that kosher? Flip it around. Flip the sexes. If it's not okay on one side, it's most definitely not okay on the other. Most definitely not okay. This is so unhealthy. So unhealthy. And this is on TV right now. This is on a TLC show.
Too much.
This is way too much. Way too much. Real talk. Now, they're talking about...
What kind of positions do you think I should do, or what do you think we should do? And she was just like, oh, girl, prop your leg up in this angle. Maybe your back should have been a little bit more arched in this position.
So now it has everything to do... Wait, I thought sex was supposed to be just an enjoyable... Now it's supposed to be how you're arching your back and how... What? This ain't a yoga class. It's sex. But they're giving each other sex advice by watching each other's sex tapes. Now here's the thing. I understand being close, having a strong bond with with a loved one, with your parent. There's nothing wrong with having a healthy relationship with your parents. There's nothing wrong with being close with your parents. But when you start doing this weird intimate crap like y'all on a date, that's where I draw the line. Then on top of that, they took it another step further with the whole, hey, check out my sex tapes and, what could I do better and what can I not do better? Ain't that what friends are for? Ain't that what your best friend is for? Hey, best friend. I mean, even though still, no matter what, I'm sorry. That's so weird to me. To me, that's so weird to be like, hey, bro, check out my sex tape. You know what I mean? Check out my stroke game. I personally could not watch somebody else's sex tape that I personally knew. I'm sorry. I just can't. It's weird. So no matter what, is crossing the line on all levels. And I've seen dudes that'll I know dudes that sit there, have plenty of stuff in their phones, and they'll just be like, hey, check this out. And I'm like, what's that? And he's like, oh man, it's me and this girl. Really, bro? I don't need to see that. Respectfully, congratulations. Congratulations. You know what I mean? She looks great, but at the same time, I don't need to see that. I really don't. David.
Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly just going to agree with you here. This is just creepy and gross. But, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of ungood things about this. I mean, the fact that her mother's the one that pushed it makes it even more suspect in the first place. But ultimately, it's just, I don't know for sure. I'm not a psychologist, but this strikes me as incredibly mentally unhealthy, and that it's not going to help with a healthy development. But I don't know. Either way, it's just it's gross. And I mean, further than that, sharing sex tapes of private people, like people you were with, is probably illegal. I don't know for sure. I think it is though. I mean, you shouldn't be showing, unless you have the consent of your partner or whatever. You shouldn't be showing anyone that at all. You
shouldn't. Period.
Especially your child, Jesus.
No, there it is. Especially your child, Jesus. Exactly. Oh, that got me weak. No, exactly. Like, because in my personal opinion, it makes me think something else is going on here. Something unhealthy and something very wrong is happening between those two women. That's what I instantly think. If you're going to be that close like that, makes me think that something else is going on. And then, on top of that, it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if they shared a man before.
I was thinking the same thing.
I'm sorry. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real.
Some guy is lucky right now. Some guy is lucky.
That's not lucky. That's gross. I'm sorry.
I don't think that's too unusual. I know people that have done that. I don't know. Maybe it's just the area I live in, but I know people that have done that. It's weird, but it doesn't seem like it's that uncommon. At least in Cincinnati, maybe.
No, it's Cincinnati. Only in Cincinnati. No, I mean, to me, it's gross. To me, it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if it was two mother-daughter type situation. Hey, we want you to come home with us type. No, I would. Oh my God, I would decline so hard.
Wait,
It's just
man,
wrong.
listen.
That's
Lisa
wrong.
Bonet and her daughter Chloe, or is it Zoe?
Zoe.
Yeah, those two are the best. So you can't say no to that.
I would still say no to that. I'm sorry.
Ah,
Yes,
no.
they're both
Oh, no.
gorgeous. Yes, they're both gorgeous, but at the same time, I could no. That's not right. That's not right. It's wrong, and you're a part of that wrongness. It's weird.
That wrong feels so good though.
Oh dear God, no. Oh, I mean, sure, but at the same time, no. That's just wrong. That's wrong, man. I feel like you're being a part of something that's. It just doesn't seem. To me, it just does. No, just doesn't seem right to me. It's like those other things. Like you hear those stories about like sisters sharing and stuff like that. To me, I feel that's wrong. You know what I mean? I think that's just messed up. I think that's really, really messed up. So I would never want to participate in that part. Never. Like never. It's just wrong. But this is the world that we live in. And we live in this world where, a lot of, we're all kind of like where you have parents that are still young and they're still hip, or they're still wanting to be hip, and their kids are old enough now so that they can maybe go out and drink together or go and hang out, so on and so forth. And because of course, when you have somebody who is in their 40s and they have a daughter that's in their late 20s, you've had the child in your 20s or late teens, somewhere around there. You get to a certain age, you're still young, right? By the time you see women who are in their 40s, when I was a kid, like when they're in their like late 40s, I mean, they're old. You know what I'm saying? Totally out of touch with what's going on in pop culture, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to something like this, and in this day and age, people are much more up to date on what's dope, what's cool, what is twerking, stuff like that. But does that mean you contribute to that behavior with your child?
As a responsible parent, no. Obviously, no.
Clearly, no.
But, yeah.
Clearly, no. And she ain't acting like a responsible adult, a responsible parent, in my personal opinion. You're sitting here, you're showing all this stuff, you're doing this, that, and the third. You're the one who instigates the sex tape to your child. That's a big problem, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of thing we're starting to see a lot more, though. I mean, it is getting more, these things are getting more publicity. I guess it's kind of being normalized via the media to some degree. And I mean, just 2 months ago, I think it was, maybe 1 month ago, like New York had a case where some parent, I think a guy, wanted to marry his daughter, and he's trying to sue the state to get rid of that law or whatever. And we're starting to see these things try to be brought to court across the country to make them okay to some degree. And I mean, obviously this incident isn't as legal or gross as that, though. It's still, I mean, I think it's down the same avenue at the very least. Mm-hmm. And like shows like this, I don't think are great. I mean, I don't even think it's necessarily just a moral issue. I don't think it's mentally or physically healthy to be doing that kind of thing, like these two women were doing. But I don't know, it is just a thing that seems to be becoming more and more popular. More sexual extremism, I guess, is the way to put it, is becoming more of a thing. I mean, even just, I think it was last month, there was that big video about, it was like a 5-year-old girl or something twerking, and then like everyone around her just started like cheering her on or something. This is the kind of things that are just happening more, like exploitation of children, especially by their parents. And I don't necessarily know that the mother in this case wanted to exploit her child, but ultimately the mother is the one. Even if her daughter was adult at the time, the entire time, I mean, it's still the mother's responsibility to some degree to make sure she's treating her child right, even if it's not a child anymore, if it's a grown person. But Yeah, so I mean, I do think this points towards just mental and physical unhealthiness just across the board. I don't even think it's just a moral thing. Though it's easy to call it morally wrong. Don't get me wrong, but I think it is just beyond that. It's just unnatural to well-being of an individual.
This is not good. I saw some comments. I wanted to pull this up. Taylor Caldwell said, "Here's the thing. You want to teach your daughter how to set boundaries so she does not wind up in an abusive relationship. Her mother is not teaching her boundaries. Abso-freaking-lutely. There is no boundaries between her and and her mother. The other thing is somebody else just asked, what is there a father involved? Is there a father in the household, etc.? I'm going to sit here and say I doubt it. I doubt it. Now, of course, I didn't. I'm only seeing that 1 minute, that 59-second clip. But my hardcore assumption is that Daddy ain't around. Daddy ain't there. So I'm sure they were close from the get-go because there was no father figure in there to maybe be there, to be to be on the outside looking in, going, "Yo, girl, that's wrong, honey. What are you doing? No." We got to set boundaries here. She is the daughter. She is not your best friend. Now, I know a lot of girls out here that do have mothers as their best friends. And I'm telling you what, on some real shit, sorry I curse, but I'm trying to say this to make sure it sticks. Fellas, run. Sorry, I said it. Any girl that has a mother for a best friend, run. Dealt with it myself. It is awkward. It is terrible because you always have the mother's voice and her opinion right there in her ear, in her Real talk. Anything that from my experience, anytime that she's making a decision, it's a decision that she's making with her mother. That is her best friend. Let me say this though too. Not this extreme. I'm just saying best friends, like they're talking on the phone all the time. They're talking about the relationship all the time. She's always in your business all the time. Not the oh, should I arch my back when I'm getting stroked? Nah. Not that stuff. But I do know a lot of women that keep close with their mothers. Right? I hate to say it like that, but fellas, as soon as you find out a girl has her best friend is her mother, my brothers, run. You're going down to hell in a handbasket. It is a roller coaster ride you do not want to ride. Trust and believe. Okay? So, when you see something like this, it just, to me, don't feel right. It don't feel right. And then, of course, near the end of that 59-second clip, you hear one of the producers go, you're in a relationship. What does your boyfriend think of this? And she says, yeah, my boyfriend thinks I'm sick. Facts. It's sick.
Wow.
It's sick.
Surprised he's her boyfriend.
Say again, what?
Surprised he's her boyfriend if he recognizes it's messed up.
It's absolutely sick, y'all. Absolutely wrong and sick. And that's just what I think. It's sick. But hey, you never know. They could be hamming it up even more just for the camera kind of thing to accentuate and push this particular show. They could be, over dramatizing, right? Dramatizing. Yeah. They're over dramatizing this on camera so that people go, oh my God. And they keep watching. You know what I mean? Man, I'm going to TiVo this ish. You know what I'm saying? Do people TiVo anymore?
Yeah,
my dog said no. Thank you, Romeo. So that's the thing. It's just wrong, guys. So fellas, outside of all this is another piece. Like, there's nothing wrong with a mother having a strong relationship with their children. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's got to be boundaries. Just a tiny bit.
Definitely.
Just
no,
a
lot of it. A lot of it, though. You're right.
It was a joke, but yeah, just a little bit. You need a little Boundaries. Don't send sex tapes to your parents. That's weird. But like I said, how it's okay for it to be, we're watching this with a mother-daughter, but if it was flipped, sexes were changed, and if it was a father-son, that would be weird, and people would burn that family's house down lickety-split and start throwing out the P words, saying they're this, that, and the third, how disgusting and messed up they are. This is a little bit more socially acceptable because they're women, and that's wrong. It should be wrong, and it should be looked at, and it should be looked at seriously. David.
Yeah, I think if it was two guys involved, I mean, a lot of people would be rightfully looking at their partners that they're exposing without a lot of cases permission. So that's, I mean, it's wrong to do in any situation whatsoever. So like, I mean, that's just that's a violation of trust to already begin with. But on top of that, like, I mean, that really is the main thing, I think. Like, sure, I guess they can do whatever they want. They can do whatever they want if it's legal. But if they're like showing people that they're having sex without permission, or just putting those videos out there, even sharing with their mother, that's not okay. This is the kind of thing that should remain private, especially against your parents. But I mean, it's just in general, you shouldn't be showing this kind of things to anyone unless, like I said, your partner gives you permission. It doesn't sound like her partner particularly likes the idea.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, man, it is. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. But what was that last piece you said? I'm sorry, I was taking care of something that just popped up. One more time. Just that last piece. No, it's all good. I don't remember. It's all good. No, I just absolutely. Go ahead, Dave.
It was about like
Go
his partner not feeling comfortable with the mom and daughter doing that together. So like in a sense, like his position as a man or as a boyfriend has now been pushed further away because the boundary lines have been, erased, unfortunately for him.
Like I said, this is something that's wrong on so many levels. So many levels. This should... I'm sorry. It is just hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious and disgusting at the same damn time. And they need to go seek therapy because it is gross. It's nasty. Y'all don't need to be sharing that kind of stuff. Real talk. In fact, nobody should be sharing sex tapes in general with each other. Except maybe with the person that you're with. You know what I mean? It's for your viewing pleasure, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to you going like, hey, check out this tape I did with my girl, and you're sharing that with people, with your best friend and stuff, yeah, they need Jesus, okay? That's just wrong. Wrong on so many levels. And like I said, wouldn't be surprised if they're sharing vitamin D. I'm serious. Wouldn't be surprised. I ain't canceling no prawn. I ain't canceling prawn. Come on now. Sometimes that keeps some of you freaks at home from doing bad things to other people, man.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm saying real talk. Sometimes that's a blessing, yo. Sometimes that prawn is a blessing. So keep prawn alive, please. Keeps a lot of really crazy people at bay. Real talk. Now,
adult prawn.
Adult prawn. Adult
yes.
prawn. Sorry. Adult prawn. Okay? From doing some bad things. Okay? But there is something I wanted to show you guys. I just randomly got it. Okay. So, I haven't seen this at all. So we're going to watch it together. All right? So bear with me for 2 seconds. This is a little bit of a left turn of a thing. But there is a double murder suspect that decided to represent himself in court and delivers his opening statement that is going viral. Okay? So here's a little bit of a... I hope this is good. I didn't hear anything, but I just how he's... Oh, boy. He got a black man's mullet going on. I don't even know what it is. I don't know what it is. He's got like a Sonic the Hedgehog mullet going on. Well, I'll explain here in a second. But anyway, this is from, shout out to the Shade Room, okay? But here it is. A man by the name of Ronnie O'Neal is on trial for his life, okay, after he's been accused of killing his girlfriend and her daughter in 2018. It seems Droney has decided to represent himself in his case and delivered his opening statements in Tampa, Florida, in a Tampa, Florida courthouse. This short clip is making its rounds, and let's just say the internet already has questions, child. Okay, so we got to look at this particular video. 1 second. And of course, this is straight from, actually, you know what? Let me take a second here. Let me just take a second. They got me working here today. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second.
Start doing the briefing while you figure that out if you want.
Sure. 1 second. This will take 2 seconds, though.
Okay.
Hold on. This will take 2 seconds. You know, it's downloading pretty quickly, but anyway, I just wanted to throw this to you guys because I think this is going to be a very interesting video to watch. Just let me, I got like 20 seconds left. Un momento, por favor. So, I don't know much about this Ronnie O'Neal guy. I don't know anything about this guy. But right now, this guy is literally defending himself. He's representing himself. So either the lawyer said, I'm not representing you no more, or he's crazy enough to think that he can represent himself. Period. So we're gonna take a look at this. We're gonna. Oh, this is already gonna be amazing. I already know this is already gonna be amazing. Let's take a look at this, shall we? Let us go. See, Sonic the Hedgehog mullet. Real talk. You know what I mean? Wow. Okay, here we go.
What the?
Yeah. Wait. We haven't even heard this dude talk yet. Hold on. Give him a chance now.
We don't need to. Look at that hair.
Give him a chance now. You never know. You never know. You know what I mean? He may be innocent.
Evidence is going to show that law enforcement tampered with evidence to meet their such high burden of proof. Because originally, it wasn't enough. So we had to tamper with evidence. Since it was such evident already, but we still had to tamper with evidence.
He's guilty. I'm sorry. Bruh is guilty. Hold on. I gotta roll that back for a second. What?
Jesus, he is preaching right now.
He did it. He's like, the evidence. He's yelling at the jury. Why is he yelling at the jury, man? Man, why he yelling at the jury, bruh? Well, hold up.
You can't make this up.
Hold up. Sonic the Hedgehog has something to say. Hold up. What? Hold on. I'm sorry, because real talk, it's still sad what he did, allegedly, to his girlfriend and his daughter. But clearly you can see this guy's not all there. He's unhinged.
That law enforcement tampered with evidence to meet their such high burden of proof.
high. Burn. Okay. All right. I'm okay.
Because originally, it wasn't enough. So we had to tamper with evidence. Since it was such evident already, but we still had to tamper with evidence.
Yeah, he did it. I'm sorry. That dude did it.
Did he just say there's already plenty of evidence, but they made up more anyway? Basically.
I'm trying to understand what he's saying, but it's so quiet. Hold on, let me turn it up one more time. And hold up. Let me turn it up because I got to turn you guys up too. So hold on one second. Let me play that part one more time because I'm still trying to understand. It's like, what did he say? What?
It wasn't enough.
Hold up. I got to turn it all the way up.
So we had to tamper with evidence. Since it was such evident already, but we still had to tamper with evidence.
So he basically said, I got to turn this down. Hold on. So he basically saying that the evidence was already enough, but they had to tamper with the evidence because the evidence isn't what? Because the evidence wasn't enough. What? Yeah. So, he Noli just said something that's probably very, very true. He's probably trying to play crazy. He could possibly be trying to go down the route of being crazy. Real talk. The whole the insanity plea, right? So he's like, hey man, I'm already looking down the barrel of probably death, right? For doing this heinous crime, for doing what I did. So let me just play crazy real quick. Let me just look crazy. Let me act crazy. Boom. Or the mother lover already crazy. Because it takes a little bit of crazy to do some sort of act like killing your girlfriend and your daughter, too. But that still does not save him from whatever verdict he about to get. Because there's no way. You can't sit there and do something like that and think you're going to walk out a free man. Are you insane? Well, maybe he is. But at the same time, are you insane? Fellas.
I don't know what to say. Like his lawyer was like, I'm out of this motherfucker. Like, I'm out of here. I mean, if this man is speaking like this in court, thinking he's going to get off, he's even more insane than he appears to be. He has this whole John Q. Denzel pastor on a podium. He preaching to the whole jury. It's almost like a skit in a comedy sketch. Unfortunately, it's not. People have died, but I mean, this guy is just beyond common sense. I mean, he's definitely far off on Mars somewhere, man. This is ridiculous. It's funny in the sense that it's a character, but it's sad because it's not. It's a real person who's done harm. So it's crazy.
Oh my God, the Sonic the Hedgehog mullet going on, like the black man's mullet. I don't even know. I don't even know if that's a black man's mullet. That's just that's like a trip from the 80s type of hairstyle type thing. I don't know. I feel like he should be.
It's not short in the front. It's
breaking.
Still long. He just has it propped up.
It's spiky. It's spiky.
Yeah.
I feel like he's an extra from Breaking. You know what I mean? He's just popping and locking and breaking too. You know what I mean?
Like Guile with a ponytail.
Guile with a ponytail. That's a good one too. You know what I'm saying? But like real talk, bruh. That really happened. That man guilty. That man guilty as hell. You know what I mean? Noli said his hair wasn't like that when he got locked up. Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure he let it grow out and then tried to and this was like, hey, if he's going with the crazy, if he's going with the pleading insanity, with the insanity plea, he was probably like, I'm going to do something with my hair. I'm going to look crazy. I'm just going to go as crazy as I can. And then he said, F it, I'm going to represent myself as well so that you can see firsthand how crazy I am. So then they can sit there and go, no, this man's crazy. He's insane. The insanity plea seems to work. Therefore, he's found guilty with insanity, blah, blah, blah. And then he doesn't go to prison. He goes to
the asylum.
To an asylum. Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, stupid as hell. But anyway, we got to get into a briefing, world news briefing. You know what I'm saying? So David's got some briefings for us. What is going on in the world right now?
All right. So the one article for the U.S. first is that a New York judge on Tuesday approved movie mogul Harvey Weinstein's extradition to California, where he faces additional charges for the things he's been doing. However, the legal fight over seems to have ended now that a lot of the restrictions are over in the area. However, his defense was previously claiming that he should be partially released due to his failing health. However, Judge Kenneth Case said there was no reason to delay Weinstein's transfer any longer, denying his lawyer's request to keep him at a state prison near Buffalo, where he is serving a 23-year sentence for sexual misconduct conviction last year until the start of the jury selection in the Los Angeles case. Los Angeles authorities plan to collect Weinstein from the Wenday Correctional Facility in Alden, New York at the end of June or early July. And prosecutors said that Tuesday's extradition hearing in Buffalo will end up giving Weinstein's lawyer enough time to appeal to the judge. However, the current plans are still for him to be shipped to California to face charges in that state. For the rest of the world, in North Korea, the state is bracing itself for a possible food crisis. Kim Jong-un, who is the leader of North Korea, issued a warning about a tense food situation brought about by extensive flooding, the pandemic, international sanctions, and restrictions from other nations such as the U.S. Mr. Kim convened with the Central Committee of his ruling Workers' Party on Tuesday to assess the state of affairs in his isolated country and said resolving the food shortage was a top priority, according to the official Korean Central News Agency. In particular, he goes on to say, the people's food situation is now getting tense as the agricultural sector failed to fulfill its grain production. It is essential for the whole party and state to concentrate on farming. So in Israel, we do have some more things going on, unfortunately. Israeli aircraft carried out a series of airstrikes at militant sites in the Gaza Strip early today. And these are the first raids since the ceasefire that began last month. The airstrike targeted facilities used by Hamas militants for meetings and to plan attacks, according to the Israeli military. On Tuesday, hundreds of Israeli ultranationalists chanting "Death to Arabs" paraded past Jerusalem in a show of force that threatened to cause a new outbreak of violence with the local Arab Israelis in the area. Palestinians in Gaza responded by launching incendiary balloons that caused at least 10 fires in southern Israel. And these balloons they're basically like, I think they're called Chinese lanterns, where, they use them at a funeral. It's a paper lantern lit by fire. This is what they were using and sent them over to Israel to cause minor fires. In Saudi Arabia, a man was executed for offenses right groups say he committed while under the age of 18. Mustafa Hashem al-Darish was arrested on May 2015 and was charged with protest-related offenses, many of which occurred when he was 17. He was executed on Tuesday in Dammam, a statement from the Ministry of Interior said. According to human rights group Reprieve, the execution of Mustafa al-Darish once again shows that the kingdom's claim to have eliminated capital punishment for childhood crimes is not true. Saudi authorities said last year that they would stop sentencing people to death for crimes committed while they were minors. And they would instead serve 10 years in prison. However, this is exactly one of those cases, and they decided to go with the death penalty. And lastly, for the news in the world today, we have India. A government source from India was talking to the Times of India, which is one of the major newspapers in the area, and said that the company has been given they're talking about Twitter, so let me back up a little bit. I skipped a part. So India is now banning Twitter, and we just saw this not too long ago with a few nations that banned it because they were involved in their own presidential elections. And India is the latest in the lines to do this because of the new restrictions that India gave to social media. And according to the government officials, the social media company Twitter had been given extra time to comply with the guidelines, but it has failed to fall in line with the new IT rules despite our repeated indulgence, including an extension. With this, Twitter has lost its safe harbor protection and now stands exposed to action under the IPC for any third-party unlawful content they added in their release. As per the new IT rules, each media platform, social media platform with intermediary status had to appoint intermediaries under the rules. And these intermediaries were basically there to maintain make sure that Twitter was compliant with Indian laws with their servers in India. Currently, it has a total of 5 billion registered users in India, and so they've been tasking. The government has been tasking compliance officers, a residence grievance officer, a chief compliance officer, and a nodal contact person for monitoring and addressing all harmful content posted by Twitter. And these roles offer them immunity against any sort of lawsuits as long as they follow with the Indian guidelines. So as long as they have the council there, even if something slips through, it's okay in that instance. But Twitter's basically refusing to work with the Indian government to set up the social monitoring that they want for Twitter content. And they are targeting basically things that you would expect, like far-right messaging in India and potential attacks from smaller groups that may strike India. So, and like I said, this is the latest in banning of Twitter. There's been a few others because they have been removing posts from presidents. There were 2 countries in Africa that just had this happen where they banned Twitter. So we're starting to see this spread a little bit across the world. But that is the news across the world for today.
All right, man. David, thank you so much for the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Really great stuff there, man. Really great stuff. Really great stuff.
Thank you.
Always, man. Always. Anyway, let's get into this next piece of the story. But that's what's going on in the world, y'all. Just so you know, in case you didn't know, in case you missed out on the stuff that's going on. This is what's going on in the world right now. All right. So last story of the day, we got to talk about this story about Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish is looks like she's on the chopping block for getting possibly canceled. She has fans that are literally in the middle of taking down their her merchandise, burning her albums, etc. Burning her merch, etc. All because of this new beau that she is rocking with, this new guy that she's been dating for a little bit. He goes by the name of, I forgot his name now. Matthew Vorse. Okay, Matthew Vorse. Now they're sitting there saying that they're saying this. Recently, there's been some drama going on with Billie Eilish, especially with her fans. Billie Eilish has been seen hanging out with her new boyfriend, Matthew Vorse, at Disneyland, and it turns out that her boyfriend has a racist and homophobic past. Now, he has posted up a lot of tweets that have thrown out the F word, thrown out the N word, etc. He made a dig at Asian people as well. So he has said a bunch of different things. But in this particular thing, this one particular moment, there was a post that he put up on Instagram that she actually liked. And it goes a little something like this. It says, this fandom, because obviously it's kind of being covered right now. It says, this fandom is so embarrassing. Sometimes, like, why would you go in someone's comments and say something that you literally don't even know is true and something y'all literally made up? Sometimes y'all are so dumb. Some of you just need to learn to mind your business. And of course, at the bottom of it, you know, my face is covering it right now, but it has been liked by Billie Eilish. Now, people are very upset. Eilish fans are upset because they're thinking that she's liking this, saying, because she's calling her fans embarrassing and dumb. So now, of course, people are going out of their way, burning, destroying their merch and trying to get Billie Eilish canceled. Not only because she liked this post that he recently put up, but also because she's dating somebody who happens to be allegedly homophobic and racist. Okay? So this is the whole thing that's going on right now with Billie Eilish. And the thing is, I'm gonna say this, okay? I'm not defending who she's dating. I don't know the guy from Adam. I don't know the dude from a can of paint. All I know is from the post that he put up on Twits, on the Twits and the IG. I think, of course, he is being very dumb, right? He himself is being embarrassing and dumb by putting out that kind of content. But you know, like one of them said, Asian people wearing masks in the hospital or something like that. Like, what's the purpose or something crazy like that? Hold up. Let me just get it right, because I don't want to misquote, even if it is some, you know. One of them says, hello, N-word, or hell no, N-word, you got that Instagram money. Another one says, God contradiction, the great all-loving F-word hater. Then there was another one he had. He said, Asian people with masks on. What the F are you doing? Okay. These are things from his past. All right? Things from his past. Now, he has put up a thing going off on people, on fans, I guess the Billie Eilish fans, saying that they're dumb and embarrassing. She liked that post. So, the question is, should she get canceled for liking that post or no? I'll throw it around the room.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if, I mean, how prominent is a like? I mean, does that 100%, you know, agree with the entire post? I don't know. I mean,
you got to look at the track record, though, right? And thank you, Rodney M. Thank you for that added piece. I forgot to say that this man is a 30-year-old man, so this ain't a 18, 19-year-old kid being young and stupid. This is a dude. This is a grown ass man. Okay, so let's add that part first. Then second, he has a history of saying some homophobic and racist things in his tweets and in his social media. Then on top of that, and of course that's already a problem. Okay, that's a problem without a doubt. Okay, but then on top of that, right? But then on top of that, she goes and likes that thing when he's going off on her fans. He's going off on her fans, and she's liking that. That's not good. That's a bad look. You know what I mean? Like, it could have been that could have been like him just saying something else towards something else, and it has nothing to do with fandom or anything of that sort. Sure, and she liked it. Okay, you know, how much weight is on top of a like, right? Good question there, T. But when you have somebody who is already dealing with BS, right? Already under fire for dating somebody who is allegedly having a history of such and such things, right? You kind of have to be careful on what you're liking and what you're not liking. Sure. Especially when you're going off, when the boyfriend is going off on your people. Like, imagine you going, like, imagine like David's girlfriend or like if David had a girlfriend, just saying, like, randomly goes off, like say the show goes to, millions and millions of followers. We got crazy, amounts of fans. People tune in by the droves. It's crazy. It's dope. It's all this stuff, right? Then all of a sudden, David's girlfriend decides to just post something saying, dissing Pascal show fans, right? And then David goes and likes it, right? Or shoot, let's change that. My fiance put something on the social medias, and goes off on the fans of the show. And I like that, man. Please cancel my ass. Please cancel me. Now, I'm not saying that she should be everyone should burn everything that she got and never buy an album again. But at the same time, she does promote a specific type of vibe. She promotes equality. And now she's dating a dude who's a bigot and kind of an ass.
Yeah, that's weird. That does not, like, I mean, what he's doing is counterproductive, for her fan base and her also income. So, I mean, she can't, I mean, I guess she feels stuck, but, like, she has to be able to address that, and make sure that she's not meshed within that, towards that offensive comments, because it's going to only be backlash from her, which is already happening, seems like. So, I mean, it's on her. She has to put out a statement publicly, denouncing, what was said, and also taking back that like. So, yeah, it's a bad look, I'll say. It's a bad look.
I mean, we live in this time now where, like we're talking about a like. we're literally in a world right now where we're talking about a like, for crying out loud, But at the same time, though, there are a lot of, she has a young audience, and when they see something like that, they're like, wait a second, I thought you were embracing equality and I thought you were embracing us and saying that it's okay to be different, and because you're different and you're not exposing yourself in some sexual way and so on and so forth. You're being an artist and loving the actual creation of music, and not the creation of just making money because you're wearing, a low plunging shirt and showing off your midriff. So when something like this happens, I feel like it would make fans very unhappy, right? But when it comes to the guy, I think she just picked the bad guy. You know what I mean? I think she's just picking the wrong kind of dude to mess with, personally. Go ahead, Dave.
I don't think, her liking this one particular tweet isn't so bad, I don't think. I mean, obviously she's kind of talking crap about her fans a little bit in this one. So, I mean, it's not great as far as her making money goes or anything. It's probably a bad idea in that regard. But, I mean, some people, I guess, like some celebrities do, say things like this, that they get too harassed by, like, paparazzi and stuff. So for this one individual, I could definitely see it affecting her fans, but I don't think it's as bad of a reflection on her, so much as the fact this guy seems to have a lot more a background of these issues than anything. And I do think that if he stays with her, or they stay together or whatever, at least on social media and everything, it will continue to drag her down. He'll continue to drag her down. And I'm not talking about her emotions here, but in terms of her business, it's probably her best bet to get away from the guy right now. It's probably a good idea to just get rid of him in general. I mean, but that's up to her ultimately. In either event, so I don't think she should. It was a good idea to like this, and I think she will lose fans over this, which is quite understandable. But all the worst content is from the guy himself. I mean, it's not a good look yet. But if she stays with this guy and she keeps liking the things he says, it's definitely going to affect her in a really bad way for a good reason. Mm-hmm. But if she just she continues to operate as she has in the past with her own mind, I guess. Like, I don't think it'll be too much of a big issue overall. Though I may be wrong. I don't know her fans. I know they have been burning her materials, and I know that she lost weight, I guess, at some point, and people were mad about that, or she wore like smaller clothes or something. She was getting negative feedback about that in the past.
Oh yeah, ever since she started just showing off a little bit of something, just showing that she's evolving as an artist, growing into her body, growing up, being a woman. You know what I'm saying? And of course, because she's wearing super baggy clothes and etc. But then she does a spread in Vanity Fair or Vogue or whatever it was, and suddenly people lost their minds because she's wearing some skimpy clothing, and it's like, who cares? And I understand that goes against her brand, but she is an artist. She's allowed to evolve. She's allowed to change her look. It can't always just be green hair and baggy joggers and baggy sweatsuits and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's you gotta change it up too from time to time. And that's okay. But they were writing her about that as well, and so I get her frustration about all that stuff. The frustration of having to keep everyone happy, and you can't please everyone because as soon as you do something, as soon as you dye your hair or cut your hair or wear a different outfit, just stand out a little bit differently, somebody's going to go in and say, oh, that was the worst thing I've ever seen. So, I mean, to me, I'm like, there's worse things that she could be going through. But at the same time, like, if you got a bigot, an ass for a boyfriend, and you have a brand, and this guy has a history of being a very bad guy, of being a bigot, you might want to reconsider who you're dating, because you are what you eat. You are the company that you keep. Sorry to say it like that, but it's real. You are what you eat, and you are the company that you keep. And so I think that she might want to reconsider some things, because obviously people are trying to destroy they're trying to destroy her career. They're trying to cancel her. So if her career is that important to her, I mean, you never know. It could be love. It could be the real thing. And if it is the real thing, hey, God bless you. Godspeed. Go and do your thing. But no one's going to buy your albums or your music if they still know that this guy has not either come out with an announcement or a statement saying, hey, those are old tweets and I'm sorry for being such an ass. But if he's not going to do that, you're going to want to reconsider your brand real quick in your business. But David, go ahead.
I was trying to find a post in here, but I just agree with you here. I don't remember who said this. I think it was Mark Jones, but I couldn't find it again. But basically, someone said that she's likely going to just instinctually jump up because he is defending her, so she would have the instinct to like it, especially since, it's her boyfriend, and he's an older man, or not an older man, but older than her. She's 30, so it does... so I could see that being the thing too. She has this her boyfriend who's already older than her, which kind of gives them a sense of, I guess, I don't know, like credibility just by virtue of being older from her perspective, because she's only like 20, I think. She's really young.
She's 19.
And, 19. So yeah, so I do see that. Like, she probably liked it out of instinct for her boyfriend more than anything else. So I can see that being the case. I don't remember who said that. Sorry, whoever it was. I couldn't find it again.
No, and it's all good. I think I understand that too. I mean, she's also young. It's not like she's the most brilliant human being in the world. She's 19 years old. She's 19. So she could just be, trying to be there in solidarity for her boyfriend, and not thinking about money or not thinking about business, not thinking about fans or anything. She's just thinking as a Twitter-pated 19-year-old girl. Let's be real, and that could be it too. It could just be her being naive, young and naive, but like I said, and Nerd just said, I do dumb stuff when I was 19. Absolutely. We all did dumb stuff when we were 19. But you got to remember, we didn't have the world watching our shit, though, when we were 19.
Facts.
And everything that we did at 19, the world was watching and going, oh, and judging everything they did, that you do at 19. Now, I can understand her maybe being frustrated and fed up with the general public, with fans, you know, because she's always getting some sort of backlash. She changes her hair. She dyes it blonde, or, you know, puts on something that's a little bit, shows off her midriff or shows off her body a little bit more, like I said earlier. People lose their minds. You know what I mean? And they start judging. And it's like, so I could see the frustration. I can understand her being frustrated. But at the same time, though, she really needs to think about who she's hanging out with, and if that person is the right person, and if that person really does care for her and really does care for her brand and her fans, he's going to do the right thing, step out and say, hey, make a statement and go, hey, I said those really terrible things and I'm really sorry about those things. Can we be friends and move on? But you know for a fact there's a lot of dudes out here, a lot of kids out here that are hardcore fans of hers, that are always dreaming up and fantasizing that opportunity to maybe take her out. So that dream has been squashed because she's getting the D from a 30-year-old ass man. Think about that too. So, of course they're going to dive into, of course they're going to do their due diligence and dive in on him. Find out if he got arrest records, etc. They're going to go in because that's their queen. Man, I'm telling you, my nephew, okay, is a huge fan of Billie Eilish. And I didn't know, but he was wearing one of her necklaces around his neck, and he goes, Billie Eilish is queen. And I go, what? I was like, I'm done. Billie Eilish is queen? So if my little nephew, and he's amazing, my nephew's amazing, but if my nephew's sitting there saying she's queen, come on. Who else is saying that too? How many other dudes, how many other people are saying that as well? Think about it. So, he got a lot of work to do, and she got a lot of explaining to do. But I don't think she's going to get canceled. It's going to be very hard for her to get canceled. Real talk, you know? But anyway, guys, that is the show for today. I really do appreciate all y'all for being on today and chopping it up with us. I really do appreciate it because, like I said before, you know, I can't do this show without you guys. So I appreciate all y'all who come in and chop it up, even if it's just for a little while or if it's for the whole show. I really do appreciate it. T, David, especially T came in the morning, y'all. T's here in the morning, yawning.
I'm awake.
To the break it down, baby. To the break it down. He is here. Okay, to the break it down. All right. David, thank you so much for being on too. You know what I'm saying? I'm just as hype having you on the show, but you here every day. Every morning.
I can hear it in your voice. I
hear
it in
your
your voice.
I'm like, thanks, David. Thanks. He's here every day. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick.
Shoot.
Today's a special day, and I'm wearing a shirt to show this off. Let's see if this goes off. Go on with it. This is Tupac Shakur's birthday today.
Oh,
50 years old.
Oh, damn.
Oh, crap, almost fell. That's his ghost.
You okay? Oh, my God, his ghost was like, don't say nothing about my name, man. You okay?
Said his name too many times.
Oh, my God. That was crazy. What was that? What was it that fell? What was that just fell?
That was just, my...
Aside from you.
Background.
Aside from you falling, what else fell? That was hilarious. Oh, my God.
Right?
You okay? You okay?
I'm good, man.
You busted your ass. You busted your ass. You straight up busted your ass.
For Tupac, anything.
It is Tupac's birthday. Actually, real quick. Did you hear about the
No, I don't want to talk about that.
We got to. Hold on.
I heard about it.
Okay,
yeah.
so real quick, you heard about the whole situation? They got like some LGBTQ merch on Tupac's website. We got to talk about that real quick. Sorry, we got to talk about that real quick. What are your thoughts on that?
About that in the past?
Not in a positive way.
He was not positive about that stuff.
No,
you could basically say homophobic.
Yeah.
You could basically say homophobic. So is this grifting or no?
Man,
is it to scoop up a quick bag or no?
Yeah, I mean, this is simply someone trying to capitalize off of something. And unfortunately, his legacy, it's a good legacy, I would think, overall. But, like, he didn't, like, the song that they're using, the song Changes wasn't about anything to do with progressive, sexuality. It was pretty much society, class, race, socioeconomics. It wasn't about sexuality, so no.
Right.
So they're misappropriating the song to benefit the current times.
Absolutely.
Which he won't. That's not cool.
They're obviously they're trying to go with the times. Of course, how perfect, his birthday's in Pride Month as well. So they're going, okay, let's see if we can scoop a bag or two. Let's see if we can make money off this. Somebody actually commented on a video and they said, "What do you mean by scoop up a bag?" Well, let me say this. To make money, okay? To scoop up a bag. And that's exactly what whoever's running Tupac Shakur's merch store online, that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to just make some quick cash so that you got more people out there in the streets on Pride parades and Pride Month rocking some Tupac Shakur merch that is more LGBTQ plus centric. Okay? So when I look at something like that and I hear about this and I know what he stood for and what he stood for, and the songs that he rapped about, the things that he said in these songs, man, this dude was not about that life. So whoever's in charge of the merch store over there is straight up grifting. That's just me. Pandering to grab a bag. A whole bunch of bags, okay? To secure the monies, all right? To make it the monies, okay? David, what are your thoughts on this real quick before we sign off?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same as like them temporarily changing like a character for a movie, just changing them for that sole purpose. They're basically trying to profit off of an original property that has nothing to do with it, and they're just trying to kind of leech off that popularity to get it onto this other product. Because it is a fact that LGBTQ products are very popular, and it's a very profitable market. So I'm not surprised they're jumping in on it, but I mean, yeah, they're just basically taking advantage of his name to try and sell more stuff because, I don't know. I don't think it reflects what he's done, so it doesn't really make sense, especially considering, I mean, he's been gone a while before a lot of the stuff even really started up lately. And, yeah, I don't know. I just don't, I think he's, yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much it, I guess. Like, I think it is just basically they're profiting off of his name at this point. It's not too unusual, but it is unfortunate.
Absolutely. It's not too unusual because we see this all the time now. You know, you'll see more and more things that are, you know, you go, wait a second, that establishment or that person used to be homophobic. Now they got a line of, you know, rainbow flag Pride Month stuff. You know what I mean? Or, you know, I mean, we see it all the time. Long story short, we see it all the time. Lots of people do this stuff where they pander, you know? They definitely are trying to scoop that bag with the quickness. And now, Immortal Badass just said something that I wanted to say really, really quick, just to kind of reiterate what he said. He said, "I'd like to believe that Tupac would have evolved with the times and be okay with it today." That's what I'd like. You know what? Honestly, that's what I'd like to believe as well. But he ain't here. He ain't with us, so we don't know. All we can do is speculate and hope. And I'm sure maybe he would, you know, like in public, but behind closed doors, maybe not be cool with it. I don't know, because I can't speak on that because him dead. Respectfully, him ain't here no more. So we can't speculate those things. All we
Does
know,
his family own his brand?
all I know All I know, I just wanted to finish this. All I know is that you got a family or a person, people who are dealing with the behind the scenes of the merch that are literally trying to get people to go and buy the merch now, because it's like, ooh, new stuff, and it works for me because it's Pride Month and I love me some Tupac. You see what I'm saying? David, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna ask if you know who owns his brand. Is it his family or who?
That's a very good question. I'm assuming that it's the family that owns it.
I mean, his mother died 5 years ago, and since she's died, everything just went to shit pretty much. So unfortunately, there are executives who have stakes in his estate, unfortunately. So
yeah, I'm just like, for me, I ain't feeling it. Personally, I ain't feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. Like, and I'm cool with it. Like, it is what it is. It's not gonna stop them from making the merch. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna keep going. They're gonna keep doing what they do, right? But at the same time, just seems a little off, in my personal opinion. You know, like I said, they're trying to make the monies. They're trying to secure them bags. All right. So I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people that are going to buy it anyway, because it'll be different. You know what I mean? And it is Pride Month, you know? So we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, again, I wanted to say big thank you to David and T for being on. I really do appreciate it. Y'all are amazing. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Fun show. Definitely different. There wasn't really a whole lot of new stuff going on today. It was weird. It's weird. Usually there's some big controversies going on, but there really wasn't anything today. It was weird. But we had to talk anyway. You know, we did the damn thing. We were able to do what we needed to do. All right. Of course, big thank you to everybody who came on, listened, conversated, have the conversations in the chat and everything. If you haven't done it yet, hit that like button down below. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button. Also, go to my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Please go and crush that subscribe button over there as well. That would really, really mean a lot, okay? Where I'm going to be putting most of the clips from today's show and other shows as well on The Pascal Show Clips channel. So please go and subscribe over there, and don't forget to hit that join button down below. Like I said, it's $4.99 a month. Helps me fuel this show so I can keep giving you guys your stories, your pop culture, your trending news and controversies for the day. Anyway, have a good one, guys. Be good to yourselves, be good to one another, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood, we inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall, Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.